Hey everyone, Jeff Scheetz here. I'm the Director of Education at TrueFire. In this episode of Spark, we're going to talk a little bit about inversions. I want to answer a couple questions I get, actually one question, and then basically respond to one statement. Now the first question is, what the heck's an inversion? So basically an inversion is a chord with the notes in a different order. So we rearrange the notes of a chord, make them sound a little bit different, but it's still going to be the same chord. We're going to go over that in a minute. I'll show you how to play a couple things. The statement I want to address is this. I hear this a lot of times. Yeah, but I'm a blues guitar player, or I'm a rock guitar player, and inversions is really just for jazz guys, right? So unless I want to play jazz, I don't need to learn any inversions. Au contraire, mon frère. You absolutely need to learn your inversions. Inversions are really integral to any kind of guitar playing, regardless of what the style it is. They help you with songwriting and coming up with cool riffs. They're a great thing to know when you're playing with another guitar player, or certainly with other musicians, so you can find the right spot to play that chord. They just open up a world harmonically of things you can do and how you hear things. So really important to know your inversions. Now, do you need to know every inversion under the sun and study them for years and years and years? That's up to you, right? So how deep you go with inversions is really up to you. And I'm going to show you a couple ways to play inversions and a couple things to do. We don't have time in this episode to do an exhaustive study on inversions. TrueFire has some awesome lessons about inversions. As a matter of fact, in the text with this video, we're going to have some links to some cool free videos you can go check out if you want to dig a little bit deeper into inversions. But let's get started and just take a look at how we're going to play our first inversion shape, right? So, as I mentioned, inversions are basically a different ordering of the notes in a chord. Well, what does that mean exactly? Well, a chord is built by taking notes from our major scale, for example. Say if we want to play an A major chord, we take notes from our A major scale, right? Our A major scale would be, right? So we would take our first note, miss the second, take the third, miss the fourth, and take the fifth. So we take the first note, third note, and fifth note from that scale. Those notes are, in this case, A, C sharp, and E. Those three notes together give us an A major chord. So if I played those in that order, A, C sharp, E, that gives me my A major chord. Now we'll also call these the A major triad, right? Triads, really what we're doing is triad inversions today. Triad basically just means it's a three-note chord like that. It's your three notes. So A, C sharp, and E. The first note, the third note, and the fifth note of that scale. That gives us my major chord basically, right? So we've got the third note is the the root note is the lowest one, the A, and then it goes to the third note and then the fifth note. So to invert that, I'm going to take that A off the bottom and put it up on top. Now I've got the C sharp, E, A. So it's a different order of the notes. That would be my first inversion. So I've got my root position, and then to invert it, I need to have my C sharp as the low note. Now we can play these anywhere, but I'm going to stay on those same three strings. So now I need, instead of A, I need C sharp, which is here. And then I need my E, which is here. And then I need my A. So C sharp, E, A. So that would be my first inversion of A major chord. So my root position and my first inversion. All right, simple as that. Same exact chord, but they sound different, right? So if I want to play the second inversion, I'm going to take those same three notes that I had in my first inversion, and I'm going to take that C sharp from the lowest note and move it to the top. Now my lowest note is going to be my fifth note of the scale, which is my E. And then it's going to go to my A, and then my C sharp. So E, A, C sharp. That's going to be the second inversion of my A major. So A major, root position, first inversion, and second inversion. Everything I just played there was an A major chord, but it sounds a little bit different because it's changing up the notes. So just by changing that order of the notes, we get kind of a cool sound. So what could we do with this, right? What's an easy way to, what's an easy example of saying, yeah, so what? What do we do with this? Well, here's what we want to do. I want to take something that's really basic, right? Like maybe in a progression, like right? An A, D, and E. Or if you're playing open chords, it'd be A, D, E. Very standard sounding. Maybe a little bit boring, right? And you've played it a million times, and there are a million other songs that you don't even know yet that have those same three chords in them. So how can we take that progression and make it a little bit more interesting? So one way to do it is by using inversions. So instead of, I could take and play some inversions, my root my root position of my A, my second inversion of my D, and my first inversion of my E. So that's the same thing. Sounds really different than, that's very standard, right? You've heard that a million times. So when you're trying to come up with unique and interesting ways to play a chord progression that doesn't sound like every other chord progression you've played, this is a great way to tackle it by using inversion. I could do it here, or I could go and then go to that D here, and the E here, the A here, D here, E. So as you move up the neck and use different inversions in different orders, you can really change things up. Now I'm just doing them on the 6th, 5th, and 4th strings. You should do them on every other set of 3 strings. Go through it. So if I was playing them up on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd, it would be here. So I'd play an A, D, E, A, D, E, A, D, E. So you start to see where just those 3 chords can sound interesting. And especially if you're playing with another guitar player and they're just playing standard chords, it's really crucial that you know how to play different inversions in different places. All right? So once again, we're not going to go deeper than that. Just want to give you the heads up on why inversions are so cool, and you should definitely know inversion shapes. The nice thing about these is we know that 1, 3, 5 is my major chord. So if I want to make it minor, I just flat the 3rd to here. And now there's my minor shape. Same thing, I go up here, flat the 3rd. Minor inversion, first inversion, right? Go up here, then just have to basically flat that same 3rd where I go, and that makes it minor. So it's really easy to learn your majors and minors. And that's really all we're talking about right now. Lots of other shapes you can get into and should learn, but that'll get you started and hopefully, get you fired up about the possibilities that you can use inversions for and all the different cool things that will come from those. So once again, we've got some cool links, cool lessons on inversions at TrueFire. But thanks for checking out the Spark, and we'll see you next time.